another Sunday night. Good evening, South Africa, and welcome to another edition of Service Delivery Gauge. Now, let me remind you, this show is specifically designed for you to gauge the quality of service delivery in your area. And I'm your host, Sakina Kamwendo, and on sign language, of course, we have Trifosa and Selengwe with us this evening. So, just taking a look, we always do, we invite you, our viewer, to send us your videos on how you view your municipality, because this is an interactive show. Our WhatsApp number 083-272-8341, and you can also call us. That will be later on in the show on 011-714-8052. Now, as South Africa gears up for the November 1st local government elections, political parties have intensified their campaigns, and many political parties have already launched their election manifestos. But local government remains embattled with wide service delivery concerns that are raised across the majority of municipalities. So for our question of the day this evening, we are asking you, are political party election manifestos just rhetoric, or are they actually attainable? You can send us your response via Twitter at SABC News, or you can go to our Facebook page, and that is, of course, Service Delivery Gauge, Gauge. Now, tonight's focus here on Service Delivery Gauge is on Midva local municipality. Now, this is one of the best performing municipalities in the country. This municipality, which is based within the Citadel district municipality, has had clean audits for 7 consecutive years since 2013. And our senior producer, Tlela Mkuko, visited the municipality and filed this report for us.
Welcome to Meyerton, a suburb within the Midva municipality. This is Ryan Harding, a resident and a businessman in the area. He has lived here for most of his life.
Like I said, I'm here all my life in Meyerton, and I travel quite a bit all over the places, collecting vehicles as far as Cape Town, you know, and you see the conditions of our roads and the infrastructure around Meyerton compared to other smaller cities and so on. You can't compare these two to each other, you know. I mean, in Midva you hardly see any portals, and if there's a portal, it's being fixed and sorted immediately. You know, it's not like you have to wait months to get things repaired. You know, if you heard about cities, but cities not far from us, that the people don't have water for 5-6 days.
He says the municipality always delivers quality services.
I never experienced any problems here without being with water or electricity. So we always had electricity, except when it's load shedding, because load shedding is all over South Africa. But yeah, I think we have very, very good service deliveries. If there's a problem, not too long ago there was a strike, and even if there was a strike, the rubbish and stuff was still collected and the work was still being done.
Julia Ramogoloi, who is an accountant and also lives in the area, she also echoes Harding's sentiments.
Even though I'm saying I lived here since forever, but I also lived in the other municipality, so I can see the difference. The service delivery here is much better. And again, what I've realized is it's not only the municipality that is doing the job. It's a collective effort from the community.
We then spoke to the MMC for Community Services, Peter Texera, who says that even though the municipality can sometimes be overwhelmed with the number of people coming to live in the area, they still try to provide quality services. He also mentioned that all residents are treated equally.
We're just getting the basics right. We're doing what government is supposed to be doing, and that is delivering services and good governance to our people. In terms of your basic service delivery, yes, Stelo is receiving it as much as the Meyerton section of the municipality. Yes, there are certain areas where we have not reached out to, because remember, it is a developing area, it's a growing area, and we are seeing a huge influx of people that are coming into your Stelo area, coming to live in. So we are trying to keep up in terms of service delivery, but I can assure you that in terms of the basic service delivery, like your roads, your water, sanitation, as well as electricity, we are providing to our people.
Not everyone in Midva shares the same sentiments, though. At Swatkopi's farm, 67-year-old Pindile Chabalala holds a totally different view. She has been living in the area since 1989.
Izindlu, ikliniki, ugesi unokusihlupha kakhulu, amanzi. Angeke ngivume ukuthi wenza kakuhle umasipala weMidva ngoba akakasenzeli lutho thina kule ndawo.
Even though disparities are evident within the municipality, it has achieved clean audits for 7 consecutive years. For SABC News, I am Hlela Mqhuqho in the Midva.
Well, there you have it from Hlela. And today I'm joined by SABC specialist researcher Amil Umra. Amril, to tell us more about this, as we always do, take a deep dive before we get into discussions. So tell us about Midva and what goes on there.
Well, thank you, Sakina. It's good to finally be back. Well, as we know, that Midva is in the Gauteng province, and it's one of 3 municipalities under the Citadel district municipality. You've spoken about it earlier. And of course, well, when we're looking at our map here, the population of Midva has increased a little bit, of course, since 2011 to 2016. And we'll be soon looking into a little bit of the population dynamics in the Midva municipality. You did mention that it has got consecutive audits for 7 years, so they have done well on the books. It will be interesting then to see whether what's on the books reflects to what's actually happening in the municipality. So Midva, for instance, has a very big workforce. 70% of all residents fall within the working age group, which is people aged between 15 and 64. And it's quite a capable workforce as well. 82% have completed secondary schooling, with 15% having attained a higher learning. Now, the total unemployment rate in Midva, comparatively now to the rest of the country, is 18.8%. So it is doing slightly better than the rest of the country, but 18.8% still is quite high if we look at other countries. Now, the youth comprise quite a large part of the population, 58% in total. But unfortunately, the youth also makes up the highest unemployment rate of 25%. So it will be interesting then to see whether that youth vote, judging by the opportunities they have, actually reflects when we head to the polls next month. Moving on then, let's look at some of the service delivery issues in Midva. Yes, they are. We've got water leakages, overgrown stands, tree trimming, electrical issues, block sewers, and road maintenance. Now, these are some of the bigger issues that have come out in a few surveys that were done in 2016. Interestingly, we don't always see overgrown stands and tree trimming coming out as a main concern for residents. But you were speaking about the disparity, and Mayerton town itself is properly cleaned, fully delivered with services, but a stone's throw away in Citadel, I don't think they're going to have, I think their problems with tree trimming and overgrown stands is the least of their concerns. Now, going over to the voting trends, the DA has always had quite a large hold on the council, with about 55% of votes in 2011, giving it 15 seats on council. The ANC was quite a strong opposition party in the municipality, with 41% of votes, and the Freedom Front Plus almost mustered up 1%, but does have 1 seat on council. In 2016, the DA has consolidated its power and bolstered it a bit, almost having 60% of the total votes, with 17 seats on council. Now, the ANC, we see a bit of a downward spiral there, dropping to 32%. And it seems, though, if we add up the EFF and the Freedom Front Plus, what they've gained looks like they've taken away directly from the ANC. So it will be interesting to see whether that trend continues on November 1st.
Indeed it will. But thanks so much, Amil, giving us some perspective there in terms of what we are looking at in Midva. So when we come back from the ad break, we'll talk to officials who will tell us more about the Midva municipality. Please stay with us.
We are at Citadel Township, which is one of the townships of the Midva municipality. There are beautiful roads around here. There are potholes here and there, but Citadel Township is one of the good examples that the municipality is really working for the people. As much as it doesn't look like Mayerton, but you can see that it is a well taken care of area.
And this is what one of the residents had to say.
I would rate our municipality as green, and my reason for that will be because we've got a call center, and if you phone in a complaint, you give all your details, and after that you receive via a message, you get your reference number, and even when they've repaired it or whatever the problem was, when it's resolved, they will also let you know. I now see that we've got an app as well for Midva, which is amazing, which does basically the same.
We're on the other side of Citadel Township. As much as the Midva municipality is one of the best municipalities in the country, there are still some disparities. There's still a huge problem of service delivery. They still have got a problem of water and sanitation. There's also the problem of the wastage that is not being picked up in this area. One of the MMCs said to us, there's a problem of a lot of influx, people coming into the Midva to find jobs, and therefore they stay into this area. So he said the other problem is that they're not able to take care of everyone that comes into the Midva. It's putting pressure into the municipality.
These are the views of the residents from Sicelo Shixeka.
Masipala wa mo Midva ke mo fa red hobane ha re etsetse letho. Masipala wa Midva nna ke o fa red. Masipala wa Midva ha o etsetse next ka Sicelo. Masipala wa Midva o lokisa ka toropong fela. Gona ka Sicelo re a gangwa ke metsi ke diforo ke di eng. Ha rena motlakase taba pele. Ha ba ka taba yentse di dance tseo di a rekiswa. Ha ka taba gona sentse re fitlile ke fitlile mo 1998 ke fitla ka Sicelo ntse ke dutse. Batho ba fitla 2011 ba dutse ka nkantla gona le ituletse mona. Na banka toti di jareteng. Hona je ba gone ga ba sa kena. Re latlhela toti ka mane. Le teng ga ba fitla ba na taba le gona.
Well, there's a service delivery gauge, and we really appreciate you tuning in. And I'm joined now in studio by the Midva local municipality mayoral candidate, Peter Teixeira, and also by Andiswa Muswai of the ANC, Deputy Coordinator of the Citadel Regional Task Team. And also with us this evening is Isaac Kitiga, the EFF's chairperson in the Citadel region. Lady, gentlemen, thanks to all of you for joining us this evening. So I just want to get a quick sense from the three of you before we get into the actual issues of how you would rate your municipality and the services that you deliver to all of the residents of Midva. Let me start with the EFF.
Thank you, Sakina. I think Midva, I would rate it red because I want to give a helicopter view of the area because the view that has been previously given is not a full view. We have areas like your Mamelo, which do not have electricity, they do not have running water, they do not have proper sanitation. And right just across Mamelo there is a holiday destination called Val Marina. So all the guys with extra cash, they go and invest there. And just across the area, we have Mamelo. So I think that red will suit them well because they can't treat their neighbors just next door with proper dignity and humanity.
Andiswa Musai of the ANC?
Yes, I'm Andiswa
Musai.
Yes. For me, I'll rate it red as well. Simply because the DA municipality's focus is only on a certain racial group, you know, which is white people, that you will see that the development that are taking place and whatever service delivery is geared towards, you know, the white areas, and it does not focus on our poor people that are staying in the, you know, the areas of Citadel, in the areas of BS Farm, Pills Farm, Kaelicha. So there's quite a lot of disparities that are taking place in Midva.
DA, Peter Teixeira?
Thank you so much, Sakina. Look, I would rate it green. I mean, we've got a proven track record of excellent service delivery and clean governance in Midva, and we've got proof to prove what we are saying. I mean, we've got seven consecutive clean audits, And we are working for all our people, Sakina. I think my two colleagues obviously will say what they have said because it is election time. But we've got a proven track record to show that we work for all of our people. Yes, there is room for improvement here and there, and we will be the first to always admit that there is room for improvement.
As per your own admission in your integrated development plan, there is a disparity between service delivery to the rich and the poor in Midva. Let's talk to that in terms of where it is in the main, in which areas of service delivery, and what has been done so far about that.
Look, Sakina, there are developed areas in Midva, existing areas that have been there for many years. And I think most of the time this is where people will say that Midva only works in the influential areas, which is not quite true. The areas, yes, where there are issues is actually new areas that are newly developed or that were not there 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And the municipality has actually invested a lot of money. From, if you look at our IDP, you will see your areas like Citadel, Pills Farm, even Mamelo. We've invested a lot of money into developing that particular area. But like I always say, Sakina, also, because of the clean governance and all the opportunities that we've provided for our people in Midva, we've seen an increase of people that have come to Midva to seek a better life because it's a well-run municipality and we're getting people coming from all over Gauteng, even all over the country. And I mean, if you look at the Citadel district as a whole, I mean, our neighboring municipalities are collapsing. So you are finding people that are coming into Midva seeking a better future.
Let me find out from the opposition whether they agree with that characterization of the issues. The disparities that we see, is that as a result of newly developed areas and an influx of people from wherever it may be to a municipality that is well run? Let me start with you, Isaac.
No, Sakina, I think it's not true. Mamelo has been there for many years. And for many years, Mamelo has not been having electricity. For many years, areas like your, this one of the affluent area just close to Mamelo has been there and has always been affluent. But Mamelo has always been suffering. We have areas like Bantubonke. Bantubonke has always been there for many years and Bantubonke has not been serviced. So I think this is just it's not about elections, Sakina. Just want to put it clear because I think the DA is trying to move the goalpost here because they can see that they've not been servicing our people. They've not been servicing especially the areas of Citadel. Citadel has always been like that for many years.
So let me ask you, you sit on council, you are in council represented there. Why hasn't it been serviced? Because this is a municipality that for all intents and purposes does not have a cash flow problem. So why haven't those areas been serviced?
Look, Sakina, I think that the DA, like let's go to Mamelo, there have been a development that the EFF has been pushing to happen in that area. They built that reservoir. The reservoir suddenly stopped. There was a massive community protest led by the EFF in 2016 that we want RDP houses in Mamelo so that we can expand the area. So they said the land belongs to a private owner and there are issues. So we believe that we are of the view that the DA is stopping service delivery mostly from black dominated areas so that they know that those people, they will automatically vote for the EFF. So they would not want to lose power, so they don't want to service such areas. So that's why, if you can see, they've got a lot of budget, but that budget, they are not servicing your Stelo, they are not servicing your Pilis farm, they are not servicing your Plus Coffee's farm. But what they are servicing your Meaton, the roads are nice, they are servicing your Didier areas, the plots. Have you ever seen in South Africa a plot with a tar road? Plots do not have tar roads, but in mid-value go there, most plots have tar roads. That's where the money is going. They are not going to the black-dominated areas. So, and again, just for the last one, Sakina, and they do not have the touch of the community, like the candidate here, the mayor, is not staying in Midva. So he's not in touch with his own constituency. He has been just dropped in that area to service that constituency. It's not his.
So where does he stay?
He stays in Mfuleni, in an affluent area where they you know, those people who fish for fun, they just catch a fish and then they pour it back to the river, take a photo, chop just for fun. That's what they do. He stays in that area.
I'll come to him. Andiswa Mosai, let's just ask you that same question.
Yes.
Again, you are represented in council. You're part of the governance structure in Midva. When you are sitting in council and you complain that services are not being delivered to the poorer areas in Midva, what are the council discussions? What do they center around? And what are you doing to ensure that these areas actually do get the services that they require?
Okay, I think you would know that, you know, in council you've got different parties that are represented in council, and therefore there's also a process of IDP that, you know, communities would have to go through. Now, our councillors are involved in community public participation processes where they get, you know, they ensure that they are accessible to the communities and they get the challenges of the communities. So that is what the communities will also feed into the IDP. But because the DA, for the DA, it does not make sense for them to service a constituency that will not, you know, put them in power or retain them in power. Then they therefore concentrate on the, you know, the affluent areas and also on the, you know, the white areas. But with us, with the AEC, what we do is we get in touch with the communities, we get their needs, and we ensure that that is there. But I mean, if you were to look at, you know, what the district municipality also does, there's this district development model that also seeks to coordinate, you know, what is happening in service delivery issues, because now there must be better planning. So that model will also assist us in terms of the, you know, the ANC to ensure that we do deliver services to our people. So I'm really, I don't agree with what the DA is saying. The Citadel has been there for, you know, since the beginning. Mamelo, as the EFF is also has been there. But what the DA is also claiming now is that the provincial government and national government are able to come in and speed up delivery, I mean service delivery, and also upgrade the roads. We've got human settlement areas. I mean, we've just developed now Citadel area. There's also the Savannah City, where the ANC-led government in province and nationally have been able to bring in the budget there and be able to assist them. So now, when the DA is saying that they have been able to deliver services because, you know, they've brought in IDPs, it's because our communities were able to feed in information, but they are not focusing on that. So
that's very slick. That's a very slick response. But let me come to the DA, Peter. Why? If we look at the current cash flow of the Midva municipality, you have a surplus?
Yes, yes.
So how do you have a surplus and yet people require services? How does that work?
Look, what my colleagues are saying is totally not true, Sakina. I just want to start with my colleague from the EFF. I think it clearly shows that he's out of touch with the dynamics of Midva, and he doesn't understand, you know, the ward boundaries within Midva. I don't live in Mfuleni. I live in an area called Resiville, which is Ward 2, which is on the boundary of Mfuleni, but it falls within Midva. So I think he's totally out of touch with that. And then in terms of Mamelo, we take services to all people, Sakina. We don't look at black or white communities. That's not how we view our residents. We service all our people. The issues that my two colleagues have been raising, they've been talking about Mamelo and Citadel in the main. Those are housing-related issues, Sakina. We are not accredited to provide housing as a municipality. RDPs are constructed by provincial government, which is ANC-led. You know, in Citadel, Sakina, it took the province 10 years to construct 250 houses because there were stoppages from the contractors that got blacklisted, that ran away with the money, and we had to now put up and deal with the community because of that. Then the ANC will come in and campaign using that and blame the municipality and say, no, it's because it's a DA-led municipality. That's why they are not delivering housing. Housing is not our competency. What we have done, even though it's not our competency, Sakina, what we've done is we've put together a human settlement plan. So we've done studies and we've gone out to our people, did studies and actually put that human settlement plan together and submitted it to province and said these are our people in different areas that are in need of RDP houses. So what they have done is, because it's a DA-run municipality in Gauteng, obviously there is always that element of sabotage as well. How does it take you 10 years to construct 250 houses?
Andiswa, you were very, as I said, that was a sleek touch by you. You brought that issue onto the table. So in response to that question, very briefly.
The issue of, whether the ANC, government has taken 10 years, I don't think it should be an issue. What we should take into account now is that there is service delivery. The government has delivered. I mean, there has been housing allocation in Savannah City. There has been a housing allocation in Citadel. And also the ANC is also rolling out, fiber in Savannah City as well. So the roads, the upgrades that are taking place is also in the R82, in around Didier, Aikenhof. They're actually opening up in economic interventions there. Because now you will see that there's a whole lot of, a lot of companies that are now getting interested, and you will see that because of those upgrades now, a lot of people, and there is going to be an injection, coming into the economy of Midva. So, yeah.
Yeah, and this is our focus this evening, and we did say this is an interactive show, so we want to hear from you, looking at the Midva community and having you gauge this particular community. So let's take a look at some of the tweets that we have received. And here goes. This is rating the performance of the municipality. This one is from someone called Hewlett. Hewlett says, my number one priority in life is to get Rand West City on the level of Midva, actually to topple them. Only thing is to get our residents to vote DA and to believe it is possible. Thank you to Bongani and the team for showing us it is possible. That's from Hewlett Hild. And then Pogiso says, I really think this poll should be limited to people who stay in Midva. That's from Pogiso. And a few others coming through as well. Michael Wood says, Midva is that gold standard of administration and service delivery that the ANC will never achieve. And this is about gauging, of course, service delivery in Midva. Let's see if we have a few more. We will show you more later on in the show. But of course, I did promise that we will take some of your calls as well. So if you'd like to call us, 011 714 8052 is the number to dial. And we do have a caller on the line right now, Anonymous, coming through. Anonymous, good evening.
Good evening, Sakina.
Welcome. You're our first caller for this evening, but not quite the first on service delivery gauge. But thanks for calling us. What would you like to say?
Sakina, I don't want to waste any time, but thank you for hosting this show for us. I hope it can be continuous even after the vote. Sakina, what I have a question for is for EFF. I just want to ask a EFF person to answer to say, when they said to tell people to square, what they were thinking. Because all the here in Gauteng, there is so many squares, and those squares, they were meant because of EFF. If you go down to the media, there is no squares. All over the place here in Gauteng, there is squares. And those squares, they were made from EFF. So I have a question for that, for EFF, why they made people to square around. Because now what they are showing there in Midva is because of them who allowed people to square. And when you allow people to square, where do you think will they get water from? If a person square in a place where there's no water, where there's no toilet, where there's no electricity, and then today they come back and say DA failed. is them who pay because of they make people to spread around. And they just stay with people's minds, and because people, they don't understand, they are not educated as they are.
Got you.
They just go and swear.
Got you, Anonymous. So, Isaac, let's answer. Have you encouraged people to actually invade land and squat?
It's not squatting per se, but it's land occupation. It's our cardinal pillar. It's our cardinal pillar number one. We occupy land, and we're not hiding that, Sakina. If I can take you back, if you check areas like Soweto, were occupied. Today we have Soweto. Everyone is proud of Soweto and its rich history. It was not freely given. It was through land occupation by James Sofasonke Mpanza, who initiated a process of taking land. He was not given, he took it. And today people are living there and all that. And if you can check, areas like Orange Farm, it was land occupation. Land was not freely given. So we have a challenge of land in this country. That's where the EFF comes in with this pillar number one to say that if there is a piece of land that you see and you like, why don't you occupy it? So services should be given, because if you check areas like Midval, they are prioritizing mostly white-dominated areas. So what should the frustrated black majority do? And if you can check in our history, most of black-dominated families, they have a lot of children. We are proud of our families. So, so if you have...
When we come back, I'm going to ask Andiswa if the ANC agrees with that, because I know Peter is on record as saying that if he becomes mayor, that Midval will actually prioritize land. That's the land invasion question. And also energy, investigating ways of procuring energy from independent power producers. So we'll get into that, and I'll also speak to you after the break. And welcome back to Service Delivery Gauge, and thanks for being with us here on this Sunday evening. And we're talking about Midval this evening. That's our focus. And we're also taking your calls on 011-714-8052. WhatsApp videos can be sent to 083-272-8341. So let's continue the conversation. Before the break, the EFF explained their stance on the land question. The ANC, Andiswa, do you agree with that?
Sakina, I don't agree. You know, the reason why I don't agree with that, because there's quite a lot of things that one needs to take into consideration, you know, when you put people into a certain area. So you need to look at, you know, whether the infrastructure is there. Therefore, there must be roads as well. There's water and sanitation. There's issues of electricity that must take place, waste management and all that. So you need to have service stands. So it's really not good for people to just occupy land when you have not actually planned, because there must be a budget also attached to that. So I think for me, I would say that, you know, if the EFF would want people to have land and to have housing, then they must follow the IDP processes. And that is the only way that they will be able to, you know, to get that. But only if they were in a municipality that will be able to listen to, you know, to the needs of the poor, the needs of the communities. Because in Midval, even if there are people who have contributed towards the IDP and they have also mentioned the challenges, it becomes very, very difficult. And the budget is not set aside. And I'm going back to, you know, to me saying that the poor people are not being, their needs are not being addressed, and they still feel, the people of Midval still feel like they are still living in the apartheid era where they are segregated.
So what are they to do? What are poor people to do in Midval? Because by admission, because you didn't contradict what Peter said when he said it took you a whole lot of years, almost 10 years to build 250 houses. What are poor people supposed to do in the meantime? Because they are not getting any houses. And of course, there is a component of the population growth. So people's families expand. Where are they supposed to go? Where are they supposed to live?
The only way is to put the ANC in power in Midval. I mean, I've said that we've proven with the, the interventions that we've come in with the provincial and national, and we are still continuing. So we are continuing at Savannah City, we are continuing in Citadel, we are continuing in Mamelo. I think before the end of this month, the Department of Human Settlement is busy with the service stands there, the infrastructure installation in Mamelo. So it's the only way is for them to vote for an organization and political party that will ensure that their needs are well taken care of.
Right. We invited calls. I'll give you a chance, Peter, but we have a caller on the line now. Vincent Jacobs, I believe it is, calling us from Midva. Vincent, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Welcome to Service Delivery Gauge. Just short and sharp, what is your contribution?
My contribution is as such, our EFF and our ANC counterparts are talking about land development and RDP houses. But as far as I know, in those areas, Savannah City and the other areas, it's basically bank houses. And it's not really that they are looking after our residents here. Since I moved in here, I moved into Daleside just before lockdown. And I've had excellent service from the DA, especially our newly elected councillor, Mr. Peter Texera. And I know he is the ideal candidate to run this area. He has been taking considerations of all our concerns in this Midva area. And he has really been acting, and he's been working 24/7, and he goes out of his way to satisfy not just white people, but a variety of people, because here where I say it's a mixed race, and he has been really working hard, not just to please whites in this area, but all races. And really, and I wish him all the best, and I know and I trust that when he is being elected as mayor, more things will change. And I'm sure also, even on the black areas that they are talking about there by Val Marina, I have been staying in Val Marina. I know that area there at the back, and I know and I trust Peter is competent enough to look after each and every community.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vincent. And, we are past, that era of speaking of black areas and white areas. But the point is, and this is where we started, Peter, the discrepancy in terms of the delivery of services for the haves and the have-nots, the affluent as opposed to the poor. So that is the gap that Midva needs to close. You need to address those issues. How are you going to do that? Let's talk about the land question, because you say that, along with the energy question, are going to be your priorities. Let's start with land.
Yes. Look, we strongly condemn your illegal land invasions, Sakina, because as my counterpart from the ANC has mentioned, that it really puts a lot of strain on your budget as well and services, because it's not only a matter of having your bulk infrastructure in place, but it's also we don't know what's underneath that land. Is it highly dolomitic? Is it a wetland that and it perhaps would not be good to settle people there? So it's not just about people invading and occupying land. There's certain studies and processes that must be put in place to settle people there. So we strongly discourage illegal land invasions in Midva, and we take zero tolerance to that. We do, however, believe in offering our people sight and service, as we are doing currently in Citadel. We've already settled 200 families in Citadel, where we've offered our people their sight and service, where there's water, there's 250 square meter stands that we have given our people. We've also, Sakina, recently unveiled a 10 megaliter water reservoir that will take water or give water to our residents in Citadel, because we've realized that Citadel is growing on a daily basis, and we must keep up in terms of services. We also recently constructed a 60 million rand substation in Citadel. So I'm not sure where my colleagues get the information from that the DA is not working for our people in your areas like Sicelo. We would not have invested so much money into that particular area.
You see, last week, the municipality that we were dealing with here on service delivery gauge in Vembe, there was a dam, a few dams, in fact, in the area, and yet there was no water. So the fact that there's a substation does not necessarily translate to people having electricity. We've learned that. So are the people actually getting the electricity?
Sakina, that's what I was going to get to. In terms of the water, let's go back to the water reservoir. We currently have got we're busy with the reticulation. So we're taking the pipes to the homes. We're already providing water to our people of Sicelo. But because now, Sicelo is growing. So because we're issuing out more service stands, we've realized that we need to also ensure that we also improve the pressure, because it's not only about receiving the water, you've also got to have sufficient water pressure in those particular stands. So this is what we are currently doing in terms of the water. So we're busy with the reticulation as well as the electricity.
Okay, so the services aren't quite reaching the residents as yet.
No, they are. It's just a matter of pressure. We want to ensure that we've got sufficient capacity. That's why we have constructed that particular reservoir.
Your colleagues there are sighing, but we'll come to them. We have a caller on the line, so let's find out who it is. Good evening to you. Thanks for calling Service Delivery Gauge. What's on your mind? Apparently, we just lost that caller, but it gives us an opportunity to come back here because just as a question, do you know how many people in Midva actually have no means of income? All three of you, as in no means of income.
About 45%. No, around 45%.
No, it's 18% of people that are unemployed in Midva, but you must also look at the population size of Midva.
Well, I'm talking about people, not even about unemployment. Some people may be unemployed, but they have a means of income one way or another. They may be receiving some sort of income from different sources. But according to Stats SA, 14% of people in your municipality have no means of income. What are you guys doing for them?
Look, obviously, Sakina, we've got to create an enabling environment for businesses to come in, invest within Midva. And this is why we are spending a lot of money in bulk infrastructure development within the municipality to ensure that when businesses come to knock in our municipality for, to settle within the municipality, we can provide them with adequate services, water, sewer, and electricity. And it's safe to say that with these projects that I previously mentioned, they are actually positioned on the R59 business corridor, as we call it. This is where we're inviting businesses to come through and actually invest within the municipality, in return creating jobs for our people.
Okay. What are you doing for them, Andiswa, and then Isaac?
Sakina, I think I've mentioned that, we've got the EPWP projects that have been taking place, in Midva that are able to also create jobs for our people. That we will see that the streets are also clean because you've got people that have been that got jobs through the EPWP projects there. And you also have, people that are also working on these projects that I'm saying they are upgrading of the roads in the R82 as well around Aikenhof, around Didier as well. So those are the key things that the ANC is also currently doing for the people of Midva.
The EPWP projects, those opportunities are very contentious because people often complain that it is only those who are connected to political power that actually land up in those positions.
That would be very unfortunate, Sakina. I think that is not the intention of the EPWP project because, when you are in government, you want to service everybody, not only those that are connected. So there must be an open process that is there where the positions are advertised and CVs are submitted. And people are also taken according to their skills. And then obviously, what is it that you are requiring? So if there is a set of skill, whether it's people with matric, or with a certain standard, then those people should be able to be taken and an interview process must take place.
Is it happening, Isaac?
Sakina, there's a challenge because if you stay outside the boundaries of your municipality, like the incoming mayor here who stays in Peacehaven, you will have a challenge to understand the dynamics that are happening within your municipality. So the EFF is very aggressive when it comes to the issue of labor. We've got a lot of labor issues in Midval. Our labor desk is the most active in Midval, and also we have a lot of marches and community protest in Midval forcing the DA government to give job opportunities to our people, because you would know, Sakina, that previously we are the only political party that exposed the jobs for cash scandal that was happening in Midval. It was big, where the then MM had to be fired. It was brought by the EFF. Currently, we're not in government, we're in opposition, but we're at our sharpest. We have managed to convince the employer to employ last week 80 of our people. The municipality, through the EPWPs and permanent jobs, I think in the past 5 years we have managed to force the DA-led municipality to employ around about 20 of our people. So
who's our people?
The marginalized, the oppressed. Okay. Those are our people.
All right, we'll come back. We'll come back. We need to take a break here on Service Delivery Gauge. And when we come back, we'll continue taking your calls and, of course, reading some of your remarks and getting closing remarks from our officials here this evening. And welcome back. You're still watching Service Delivery Gauge. And remember, I said this is an interactive show designed specifically for you. Now, in this segment, we call it Where You Come From. And here, you can call us from wherever you are in the country, and you can actually send us your videos about service delivery in your area, and you can gauge your municipality for us. And this is what some of you have had to say.
Solplaatje Municipality has been going to the gutter for the past 27 years. Solplaatje Municipality is home to the Diamond City, Kimberley, the capital city of Northern Cape. But today people are struggling to get their hands on basic services. People are struggling to get their hands on affordable services. But yet politicians expect us to go to the table with them and play politics while our communities are suffering. We have organized ourselves as residents to start the Solplaatje Service Delivery Forum. We are also contesting the district municipality under the Francis Baard Service Delivery Forum. It is time that the power be returned to the people. It is time for incompetent and corrupt and delinquent politicians to be removed from their positions and residents take charge of their municipalities.
Sakina, there is no scale that you can use to measure this municipality. That scale doesn't exist. I can give them a -100 if I can, because there is nothing serviceable and working in this municipality. It's just a failed municipality. Thank you so much.
Hello, South Africa. I am a resident that is residing in Ward 43, Rustenburg, Zinjavel, Kalin Park. We are tired of pathetic service delivery issues that we are experiencing every day in our area. With regard to water, lights, roads, pollution, etc. I invite you, SABC, to come and visit our community and visit our town to come and see the state of disaster of how it looks. I thank you.
Here at Shinga, we're not receiving water. Shinga, it's a big village. It's got new place which we have developed. So since we came here to this place, we were told to go to the municipal and pay money for taps so that they can install taps to each house. But the taps are there, but they're not coming any water. We are still going back to the same thing of buying water to fill our tanks.
So there you have it, and this is what we want. Please don't forget to send us your videos about service delivery in your area, anywhere across the country. And please tune in to our brand new sister show as well. And it's called the Daily Service Delivery Show with Criselda Lewis and, of course, Kolisi Masango. And that starts tomorrow, the 4th of October, on SABC1 and SABC News Channel at 4:30. So that's, of course, tomorrow. You can have this show throughout the week, and then yours truly will be with you here on Sundays. Well, before we close the show, we have to just find out from our panel, again, in closing, what are your final remarks? Clearly, there is a problem. This is a great performing municipality, 7 clean audits on the trot, something's going right, but as long as people are complaining about service delivery, it means there's still work to be done. So let me start at the end there with the EFF. Your closing remarks in a minute or less, please.
Thank you, Sakina. I would say that the DA is focusing on its own constituency and not servicing the majority. The ANC is in the province is playing politics with the DA in our areas and not giving them houses. And then the EFF comes in as an only political party that is fighting for their will, and we are urging the people of South Africa to come out on the 1st of November and vote for the EFF because they've seen what they've done in Midva.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sakina. For me, I would ask that the community of Midva, that they must vote for the ANC. The ANC has been able to do self-introspection in terms of the processes towards the candidate selection processes currently, where we are going to bring in people who are capable, people who are skilled and experienced. And the ANC is still committed and has pledged that it will bring in the provincial and national government and support the Midva municipality.
DA?
Thank you so much, Sakina. Look, on my side, I think, for our residents must continue voting for the DA and keep us in power. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, that there is room for improvement, but we still providing excellent services to our people, and we are a clean government. And the other political parties, Sakina, can just talk only. We've got a proven record that we do deliver, and where the DA governs, we get things done.
Well, that's where we have to leave it. Thank you so much to the various representatives from the DA, the ANC and the EFF tonight, and from the rest of you. From me and the rest of the team, please have a wonderful evening. And until next week, bye-bye. And don't forget to tune in to Daily Service Delivery Gauge tomorrow with Criselda and Mkolisi at 4:30. Take care.